One Piece, the strongest of all. When it comes to determining the strongest character in One Piece, there are two major facets in which it makes it really difficult to determine who is the strongest character in One Piece. First of all, the powers in One Piece are so unique. You have so many different powers, different devil fruits, different ways of using your haki. You have the different martial arts, swordsmanship, you have Rokushiki. There's many different facets when it comes to fighting and using your abilities, and that is the reason why it's so difficult to judge. Another reason why it's so difficult is we just haven't seen a lot of the top tiers go all out. The closest we have seen to top tiers was Marine 4, and that wasn't even that much, so we just haven't seen them go all out yet. Let's look at the past first. We know at the top it was GoldRoger, the Pirate King, the man who crossed the whole Grand Line. He was determined to be the number one when it comes to strongest, as I can tell. But we also had WhiteBeard, who was said to be on GoldRoger's level, the only man to be on GoldRoger's level. He had the power to destroy the world. He was known to have the strongest Parmesia Dove Fruit. Earthquakes, man, earthquakes. We seen the damage he did when he was old. Imagine the damage he could do in his prime. We can't forget about Garp though. It was said that Garp and GoldRoger many times were close to killing each other, and Garp was said to corner GoldRoger multiple times. Now it was never said that he was on GoldRoger's level, but from that we can make an assumption that he was either he was there or he was close to it. There's also Sengoku, known as the Fleet Admiral pre-time skip. Sengoku has one of the strongest Dove Fruits, Buddha. That's one of the strongest Dove Fruits, and we know that him and Garp are like a tandem, so I wouldn't be surprised if Sengoku's at the top. But don't forget about Shiki. Shiki was also that guy. He was also with WhiteBeard and GoldRoger as the pirates in the top tier, and I can't forget about him. A lot of people look at the Strong World film, but we know that's non-canon, so don't look too much into that. And I can't forget about Rayleigh in the past. Rayleigh, we know he was a Dark King, the right-hand man to GoldRoger. Now, just by that, we can tell that he's not the strongest because he's the right-hand man to GoldRoger, and I think GoldRoger's ahead of him. But the fact that he's known as the legend and he was on the Pirate King's crew, you know Rayleigh was a top tier. Let's look at the guys that are uncertain. Nobody knows if they're strong, if they're weak. The Gorosei is talked about by so much people. I've seen people say they're Pirate King level. I've seen people say they're Admiral level. I've seen people say they're Yonko level. Me personally, I'm gonna give a guess and say they're Admiral level to above Admiral. I'm gonna say that, but they could be weak for all we know. I'm gonna be honest here, they are really uncertain when it comes to power. But we can't forget about Kong, the world government commander-in-chief. He is above Sengoku at the time. He controls like almost everything. He's only under the Gorosei when it comes to power, and he was a fleet admiral during GoldRoger's time. So Kong at this time, is Kong weak? Has he lost his strength? Is he still one of the powerhouses? For all we know, he's a monster, and you can't forget about him, even though it's still uncertain. CP0, yeah, CP0, even Dragon said he was worried about CP0, and it's really tough because we really don't know any CP0 members except Rob Lucci, but I'm still uncertain because we just don't know anything, so I had to put him in this category. Let's talk about the active characters at the top. I'm gonna be honest here, I have these guys called the 7 Savages. Yes, these 7 Savages. These guys for me are like the best at what they do. They're just the best at what they do. Mihawk, the top of the swordsman class. He's the strongest swordsman. Now think about that. He's the best at what he does. He's the strongest swordsman. Big Mom, her name herself. She's one of the Yonko, the 4 strongest pirates, and we know she's the strongest female in this series. You see, we don't know what Big Mom's Dove Fruit is, but I'm assuming she has a Parmesia Dove Fruit, but she is looking astonishing when it comes to power, and I can't forget about Big Mom. How about the current fleet admiral? To be honest, for me personally, I have him as the strongest active marine. Akainu's power itself is really, really strong. We've seen the moments in which he can melt a character's head off. WhiteBeard, known as the strongest man at the time, he melted his head off. So Akainu, after the 2 years, he's at the top of the Marines. He's definitely got to be put up here. But Kaido, yes, Kaido, the man that everybody thinks is the strongest character. And honestly, yeah, people get mad at me when I say Kaido's not the strongest and stuff like that. Again, I like Kaido as a character, but honestly, for me, when they said he was the strongest character, people stated it as facts. But let's be honest here. They said Kaido was known as the strongest creature. People say that Kaido, when it's 1v1 bet on Kaido, it's never really shown as fact that Kaido is like the number one. If it's a 1v1 fight, he will win. So when it comes to physicality, I think that Kaido is number 1, but when it comes to all kinds of power, I'm still uncertain. BlackBeard, the man who rose to fame so fast. He has arguably the strongest Parmesia Dove Fruit and the strongest Logia Dove Fruit. BlackBeard haters always bring up pre-time skip. They always bring up pre-time skip, but he rose to power during the time skip. During the time skip, he rose to power. So think about it. You saw WhiteBeard's power with that fruit. BlackBeard with those 2 years and the amount of things he can do. Now, Is he the strongest? I'm not too sure, but he has to have a bid in this conversation. Monkey D. Dragon, the most wanted man. Now, I've seen a lot of people, like a good percentage say Dragon is the strongest. And honestly, you could say Dragon is the strongest, but at least give valid points. Now, people say that Dragon is the strongest because he's the most wanted man, but you really can't say that. Dragon is the only character really going at the world government. Him and the revolutionaries are directly going at the world government. That's why he's the most wanted man. Now, I'm not going to say he's not strong. He's definitely strong and powerful, but to say that he's the most wanted man equaling strong as a fact, you really can't say that. That's why I'm uncertain with Dragon. We really haven't seen his power, but Dragon is one of the top tiers. He's Luffy's father. Whenever I give some sort of praise towards Shanks, people call me a Shanks star, but let's be honest here. The reason why I put Shanks is so, like, with all these top 7s, I feel like he's most likely to be the strongest, but I'm not going to say 100% fact because it hasn't been proven. But the reason why I say this is because story-wise, I always talk about chapter 1 story-wise. Shanks is Luffy's role model. Shanks, at the time, Luffy said he would surpass Shanks, and Shanks said, bring me back the straw when you become a great pirate. So when Luffy becomes a great pirate and he gives back the straw hat, I feel like he will have surpassed Shanks because that's what Luffy said he would do. Now, we've seen things with Shanks' haki. We see him go toe-to-toe with WhiteBeard with that clash. Nothing really serious. We see him stop the war. We see him to go to Kaido. That's the stuff that a top tier should be able to do. So I'm not going to use that as a thing to make Shanks the strongest. But when it comes to story-wise, Big Mom Kaido will be taken out first at the Yonkos. Shanks and Blackbeard. I think that's a lot of people can agree with that. That Shanks and Blackbeard will be later on, and Big Mom and Kaido, because they've been getting a lot of screen time lately. But all of this doesn't matter because Luffy at the end of the story will surpass even GoldRoger himself, in my opinion. Luffy will be at the top. So let's just say this, end of story, Luffy is the strongest of all. Let's just say that. Let's just stop the conversation, and that's pretty much it. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Like and share if you enjoyed. Like and share only if you enjoyed. And subscribe for more One Piece videos. I'm the Legend Mac, and I'm gone.